Hi, everybody, to whoever is here. It looks like there's 6 people here. I decided I wanted to do a quick live stream before the Super Bowl because Jenica and I were just going on a drive. You know, we have a lot of spiritual experiences when we go on drives. We talk about family and spiritual things, and had a realization as we were driving that I wanted to share before the Super Bowl in case you're going to watch it, or even if you don't. We got David Swenson here. Go Chiefs. Somebody was making fun of me for saying Chiefs instead of Chiefs. Chiefs. There you go. Amy Luria. Hi. Terry Taylor. Go Chiefs. Plaid. I never have been invited to a Super Bowl party before, so I'll count on this. I'll count this at my first one. There you go. I'll give it just a minute for some people to get in here. I'm not monetizing this video because it's Sunday. I feel like it's a special occasion. I want to do this live stream just because, you know, the Super Bowl is about to start, and somehow I didn't. What we're going to talk about, I didn't include in my video about the Super Bowl. I don't know why I didn't look this up. So let's see. We got 40 people. That's pretty good. Give it just another minute here. So are you guys really rooting for the Chiefs? Like, if it wasn't for, you know, the way that we're viewing this Super Bowl, you know, through this like symbolic lens, would you root for the Chiefs, or are you going for the 49ers? Putting the symbolism aside. I'm just pulling up some stuff here for some things I want to talk about. I don't know why I didn't look this up ahead of time when I did that Super Bowl video. I didn't look into the halftime show. And the halftime show, I feel like, is every bit as much important as the game itself when it comes to symbolism. It seems like the adversary really likes the halftime show. The adversary uses the halftime show for his weird purposes and to make you feel disgusting inside. So I feel like it's like one of his prime times during the year to send grossness out into the world. Jane Still. Hi, Jane here from Washington. The Haystack. I like the commercials, but we don't watch it anyway. Caden Seth Mercer. Go 49ers. Utah. Thumbs Up says, I'm a rugby fan, but watch American football. I'm here because I support Christian LDS principles and freedom. I played rugby in my senior year of high school. My high school had a rugby club. I just did it one year. It was fun. I wasn't that good, though. Crochet Mama. Hey, Jared. Good to catch you live. The Stylist Corner. Hey, I made it. Brett Puri. Chiefs. Caden Seth Mercer. Though no, I normally don't watch the Super Bowl game. For me, the Super Bowl is like the only football game that I watch all year. I was a lot more into it when I was first married. Jenica and I, our team was the Patriots because we went to Cape Cod on our honeymoon. And so Cape Cod, it's right there next to Boston, and it just like became a thing for our marriage. But now that we're here in Kansas, it's the Chiefs, you know. And when we were living in Arizona, not so much Jenica, but for me, it was the Cardinals. I just go with the team that I live the closest to. I support the home team. Jane Still, 200,000 per second for each commercial. Yep. It's a big deal. Again, if anybody's watching this, if you didn't see my other video I did about the Super Bowl, there are people that would think that all this is silly, you know, that whenever there's a sign, it has to be magic, it has to be supernatural, it has to be, I don't know what. But I think what matters is the Lord can use any event that he wants to send a message, okay, for those that are watching. And the Super Bowl it's one of the most viewed events in the world, certainly in the United States. In fact, the last Super Bowl last year, it was the Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. It was the most watched Super Bowl of all time and the second most watched event in American history, aside from the Apollo 11 moon landing. So it's a prime time for everybody, advertisers, Satan, the adversary, and then I think our Heavenly Father as well, because he can use the same mediums to, tell a story or prepare your mind or to have you start think about certain things. So if you didn't watch that video, the whole thing is that the Chiefs are from Kansas City, and it's the Kansas City metro area where New Jerusalem is in Independence, which is just east of downtown Kansas City. So it's essentially the team, I guess you could say, of New Jerusalem that's playing in the Super Bowl, and they're playing against the 49ers. And in that video, I went through a whole bunch of stuff about, and I'm not saying if you're from San Francisco that you're bad, but generally speaking, San Francisco is not known for its righteousness. Let's just say that. That's essentially been the birthplace of the hippie movement in the United States. It's a crime-ridden, drug-ridden place. It's where the first Church of Satan was established. It's the gay capital of the world. It's just all these things. It's a top contender for a modern-day Sodom or Gomorrah. And then probably next to that, you might think like New York. New York's pretty high up there and other cities, but I'm sure most people would, if you were like to do like a poll of like, what do you think are the two cities that represent Sodom and Gomorrah? I'm sure that Las Vegas would be right up there. I mean, for heaven's sake, their nickname for Las Vegas is Sin City. And that's where the Super Bowl is being played. They're not playing, that's where it's being played. In Allegiant Stadium. So here we have the team of New Jerusalem, and the head coach is a member of the church, Andy Reid. He's a member of the church. He's the head coach for the team of New Jerusalem. And then we have San Francisco, and they're playing in this almost equally, or this contender for wicked cities in Las Vegas. And then I don't know if you saw my video that I did recently, but this last week, we had another fire in a place called Paradise. In President Nelson's first year as president of the church, one of the big events was Paradise, California was burnt down. And he mentioned it in the very next conference. And he used it as like an object lesson, I think, for us to think about the second coming, because the earth is going to burn at the time of the second coming. And he was giving a warning to, and it's the talk where he said, time is running out. It was in that talk. He talked about Paradise, California. And he warned of the consequences of not living righteously, and how you can be split from your family if you're not living righteously. So we had that in 2018. Paradise, California burned. And then last year in August, Lahaina, Hawaii burned. It was a very similar thing, but it was in Hawaii, a very unlikely place. And so I was like, oh, that seems like another one of these bookends. And I think it was. But just this last week, there's a place in Chile, a province or a region called Valparaiso, which means Valley of Paradise, that had it's been the deadliest wildfire in Chile's history. And so the region is called Valley of Paradise, and then the main city that was affected by the fire, I can't remember what it was. I want to say like over 40,000 people are now homeless because of it. But the main city is a city called Viña del Mar, which means vineyard of the sea. So you have a city called Vineyard that has been burned in a place called Paradise Valley. Okay. Now, this Super Bowl is being played in Allegiant Stadium, and you think, oh, that's in Las Vegas. Well, I guess technically it's not. It's right next to the Strip, but I guess I'm not too familiar with the city limits, but based on what we read, it's actually in a census designated area called Paradise. The Super Bowl is being played in Paradise. After last week, a place called Paradise burned with fire. And what I failed to mention in that video, because somehow I missed this last General Conference, before this fire happened, President Nelson announced a temple for Viña del Mar, this place that's getting burned right now. He announced a temple for it last General Conference. So it's just so many weird, interesting things. I'm still waiting just a little bit. I want to make sure that I get the maximum number of people here before I talk about the main thing, before we talk about the halftime show. And it's almost like the eclipses. Like, think of it like this. You had that first eclipse in 2017, okay? Like over here. And then all these years go by, and then we get to 2023, and we have the Utah eclipse. And then just a few months later, well, about a half a year later, then we're going to have the eclipse in April, right? So first eclipse, a few years go by, eclipse. Well, it's like the same thing with these wildfires. You had the Paradise, California wildfire in 2018. You know, a few years go by, 2023 Lahaina, 2024 Paradise again. I'm telling you, there's something to these bookends. There is. In that same talk, the one where he said time is running out, and he showed Paradise, California, he began by talking about the fact that I think he said that he dedicated the Concepcion, Chile temple. He's only dedicated 3 temples. One, when he was president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, and then the second one, which was his first one as president of the church, was in Chile. And then this happens, and it happens right after the General Conference, where he announces a temple for that area. It's so weird. It's so weird. And now the Super Bowl is being played in Paradise, Nevada. And it's not too far away from the Mormon Fort, which, by the way, is on the Strip. It's not on the Strip, but it's on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is the Strip. But you have like the area where you have the casinos. If you go further north, same street, but you go up further north several blocks and you get to the old Mormon Fort, because it was our church that essentially paved the way for Las Vegas to become a populated area. And that was because it was a halfway point between southern Utah and I think San Bernardino. It was like a way station. It was an oasis, and that's how it got its name. But it's a city that was started by members of the church. It's become what it is, and there are a lot of members of the church there today. It kind of makes me think back to, the beginning of this world. It started as a paradise. This world started as a paradise with Adam and Eve, members of the church. And then there was the fall, and the world's become what it is. Now it's a very wicked place. It's really hard for good, for righteousness to survive in this world. It basically takes miracles for the church to survive. And there's like this parallel almost in the Las Vegas area. You have the old Mormon Fort. It's like the Garden of Eden for Las Vegas. And then you have Las Vegas, and now we have this showdown. And it's important to remember that the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl for the first time, I think, in 50 years, back in 2020. So it was February 2020. The pandemic had not yet really affected the United States. Things were not shut down by that point, if I remember right. So they played the 49ers. And this is how this whole thing got on my radar. There were other YouTubers from other, basically non-denominational Christian YouTubers that were looking at signs of the times and watching things having to do with secret combinations. And they were talking about the fact, wow, this is a big year, 2020, because it's the year of the elections. And this is like a perfect, in this sporting event, we have this perfect symbol of the state that the United States is in right now. You have Kansas City, which would represent the heartland and people that support traditional values and so on and so forth. And then you have San Francisco that represents the exact opposite. It's like the heartland versus these elite, rich, coastal, secular cities. And Kansas City won. Now, what happened was that year we had the pandemic, we had Black Lives Matter, we had the elections, and you know, we had all that happen. The next year, the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl again, but this time they played the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are it's like another name for pirates, people who steal things. And when we think about what happened in the United States the year before in 2020, when people went to cast their vote, well, believe this way or believe that way, but a lot of people believe that there was theft involved. Um, but here we are now in 2024. So the Kansas City Chiefs lost. They lost to the robbers. They lost to the Buccaneers. Last year, they went to the Super Bowl again, played the Eagles. We've talked about the fact that an eagle is a symbol of the United States. In Second Esdras, that book identifies the fourth beast of Daniel's vision as an eagle. When you read in the book of Daniel, it doesn't describe it. It doesn't associate it with a specific animal. It just says that it's like ferocious and has horns. But in Second Esdras, it identifies it as an eagle. And so last year, the team of New Jerusalem went up against, the Philadelphia Eagles, which matches up with that pretty well. The Eagles, being from Philadelphia, it also lines up with the United States because Philadelphia is where you had the Constitutional Convention. The Constitution was ratified and signed, and the Declaration of Independence before that, right? So it's like we know that Christ is going to come, and he may have already done this during Adam Yamin. He's going to assume the kingdom, and I don't know that it's going to be like take immediate effect as far as the rest of the world goes, but he'll have officially become king at Adam Yamin before he appears to the world. And then, so you have like him becoming king first, and then at his final appearance, you have the burning of the world, right? And so last year, the Chiefs beat the Eagles as though to, conquer the United States, conquer the Western countries, conquer the world, the remnants of the Roman Empire. And now this year, what we're about to see in about an hour, starting in about an hour from now, is the Super Bowl where now the city of New Jerusalem, the team of New Jerusalem, is going to be playing against the 49ers again. But the 49ers wouldn't so much represent, in my mind, they wouldn't so much represent a country, just general wickedness, worldliness, the search for gold, the search for wealth, material things, and then everything else that San Francisco is associated with, just wickedness in general. So last year, the downfall of nations, so to speak, or Christ assuming the throne, the crown, whatever. And now this year, the final event, the burning, the end of wickedness. That's how I view these things symbolically. Could be wrong. I don't know. Could be wrong. I guess we'll see. There's no problem with like paying attention to these things. But okay, so now we have 96 people watching. Okay, so Jenica and I were, doing our drive. I love living here in this small town because like we can drive all these different places and it's just country all over the place. It's very peaceful. It's great for talking about spiritual things. And I was like wondering who's gonna do the Super Bowl halftime show, because back in 2021, so you had 2020 with all the horribleness, with all the contention, the pandemic and all the contention that started, all the ways that it affected the economy and everybody's lives. It ruined everybody's lives. It stopped temple work worldwide. It hindered missionary work. It hindered our weekly services. And so you had the pandemic, and then you had Black Lives Matter and all the chaos that brought to us. And then you also had the elections, right? So it was like a year of contention, a year of Satan. If there ever was recently a year that I think Satan was at the height of his power, I would say that it was 2020. So you have 2020, the year ends, thank goodness. And then a couple months later, February 2021, you have the Super Bowl. And guess who was at the halftime show for that? After all this like success on the part of Satan, the one who was selected for the Super Bowl halftime show. Give me a second. I have to, let's see. Is it this one? No. Sorry, give me a second. Can't remember where okay. There we go. Can you see it? Yes, you can. So, the performer for that halftime show, after all this happened in 2020, was an artist that goes by the name The Weeknd, which is very fitting because we talk about this world and how these 7,000 years are likened to a week because it's 7 periods. And time and time again, well, not too frequently. This is more of like kind of like an older thing, but we talk about the fact that we're in Saturday night, this 7,000 years of the millennium, the 7,000 years is the last day. It's the Sabbath day. And so we're in the Saturday night of years waiting for the new day to start. And so it's perfect that you'd have this artist that would perform in that year after all this happened. The Weeknd. It's almost like a mockery in a way. And you see like the creepy costumes behind there, like dressed in white. The way that it starts is like they're singing kind of like a choir, like a church choir. And it actually starts with oh, this that Super Bowl halftime show was so bad. It starts with him, the main artist. I don't know his name, but The Weeknd. And like there's a lot of like worldly type imagery, like material wealth. Like you can see in the background, there's like casino and skyscrapers and stuff like that. And then it starts with this white robed figure with red eyes coming down out of the sky as the rest of these weird things are singing like a choir. Very creepy, almost as though they're mocking the second coming. And then you have the Weeknd guy that he's dressed like all in red, and then he has like a black shirt on underneath, and he looks like the devil. He looks like Satan. And it's almost as though like when you're just like looking at it, it's like Satan and his power over the world, you know? Anyway, is everyone still here? I haven't seen anything in the chat. I know everyone's probably listening to me, but just put something in the chat so I know that like something didn't go wrong with the stream. Let me look at the stream. It says everything's okay. Let's go back to that. Is everyone still here? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, the Stylist Corner. So, and then you had this like creepy part with these other guys with like the masks on their face, and there were all sorts of jokes and memes about that. But it was a real. Now, by the way, I like some of his songs. I do, but that halftime show was just like pure, just evil. It was so bad. And they usually are. They usually are. So it begs the question, who's playing for this, for the one today? Well, it turns out, of all people, it's going to be Usher. Usher. As in, and it's so funny because yesterday I made a video that I have scheduled for tomorrow. I wasn't even thinking about this. I did this video yesterday where I read this quote from Ronald A. Rasband, Elder Ronald A. Rasband, in the April 2020 General Conference of all conferences. And he says this after showing a picture of Daniel in King Nebuchadnezzar's dream, right? And then the dedication of the Rome Italy temple with all 15 in the visitor center of the Rome Italy temple. And he says this, and I have this on my second coming quotes spreadsheet. He says, "We live in that time prophesied. We are the people charged with ushering in the second coming of Jesus Christ. We are to gather God's children, those who will hear and embrace the truths, covenants, and promises of the everlasting gospel." And so and you've heard that term before, like ushering in the second coming. It's not like he's the first one that's said it, but that's who we have playing, or that's who we have performing for this Super Bowl. The artist that goes by the name Usher. And what does Usher mean? In case English isn't your first language, it's kind of a more obscure word. Let's look at a few definitions. So when you Google it, it brings up the Oxford Languages definition. An usher is a person who shows people to their seats, especially in a theater or at a wedding. Verb, show or guide someone somewhere. Cause or mark the start of something new, such as the railroads ushered in an era of cheap mass travel. Or you could say Christ ushered in the era of a new world, a new paradisiacal world, a world of righteousness, however you want to describe it. If we go to Merriam-Webster, for a noun, usher as a noun, you have an officer or servant who has the care of the door of a court, hall, or chamber, like maybe chamber of the bridegroom. An officer who walks before a person of rank, one who escorts persons to their seats, as in a theater or a wedding, like we just read. And then verb, to usher, to conduct to a place, to proceed as an usher, forerunner, or harbinger. And number 3, to cause to enter. And then if we go to Webster's, Webster's 1828, properly an officer or servant who has the care of the door of a court, hall, chamber, or the like. Hence, an officer whose business is to introduce strangers or to walk before a person of rank, like Jesus Christ. In the king's household, there are 4 gentlemen ushers of the privy chamber. There is also an usher of the exchequer, who attends the baron, sheriff. So anyway, and then it also has the verb here, to usher, to introduce, as a forerunner or harbinger, to forerun. So you get the idea. So I'm obviously not, just so that no one gets confused, I'm not saying that this guy is ushering in the second coming. I'm just saying that it falls in line with like the rest of the symbolism of this Super Bowl. The team of New Jerusalem, headed by a coach who's a member of the church, playing against a city that pretty well, represents all worldliness, both wealth, as well as degradation, in all of it. The entire spectrum of that which would represent the great and spacious building. There's probably no better city than San Francisco to do that. And they're playing in a place that rivals San Francisco for image of being a wicked city, Las Vegas. In in a stadium that's in a place called Paradise, California, a week after Paradise in Chile was ravaged by wildfire. And again, in President Nelson's first year as president of the church, you had Paradise, California that burned. But with this one, it's in the region of Valley of Paradise, Chile. And the main city that was affected is called Vineyard. That's where most of the fire was. It was in the vineyard of the sea. It's just so crazy. It's so crazy. So I hope, not just because I'm, a fan of the Chiefs, but for symbolic reasons, I hope that the Chiefs win. And I hope that it means that we're really close to all this being done once and for all, and we can move into this new era. The 1,000 years of peace and righteousness in Christ being with us, as well as all of our resurrected loved ones that have passed on, and everything else that's going to be made right during the millennium. I hope that this is a foreshadowing of that, and I think it is. It's a weird name to choose. I don't know why he chose that name, Usher. Maybe we can look that up really quick. Usher. Oops, not user. Usher, artist, Wikipedia. I wonder if it tells like how he came up with that name. Oh gosh, I'm probably not going to find it. That's like the one name that that's the one song that I really remember is I just saw it, My Way. The album's second and third singles, Burn. Burn is a song by American R&B singer Usher. Okay, so he has a song called Burn. That's interesting. I wonder if he's going to I wonder if he's going to sing it at the halftime show. Probably because if it was a single, that must have been one of his hits. I don't recognize that song. Okay, career. I don't know. Yeah, I can't. Oh, is that his name? Usher Raymond the Fourth? So that's because it's his first name is Usher. Yeah, it says born Usher Raymond the Fourth. That's his name. He was born on October 14th. I mean, not that that's a big deal, but that was the day of the eclipse in 2023. You had the war that started on the 7th, and then 7 days later, that's when the eclipse happened over Utah. He's from Dallas, Texas. All right, well, that's probably all. Okay, so that hits because his name is Usher. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. So what's everybody saying? I'm gonna scroll up and see if I can find where I left off. Okay. Terry Taylor used to live in Green Bay. Big fan of Andy Reid. Go Chiefs. My dad's favorite team was the Packers. And then this person, it doesn't say the name. Chiefs since I moved to Utah. Jonathan Rhodes. I like Brock Purdy. I don't know who that is. Dana Sten High from San Clemente with a smiley face. Plaid. Anyone else having issues with tools on the church website? Directory specifically. No, I actually got on my LDS tools today. I was able to get in. That was earlier today. Emily Fisher, my husband and I are from California and moved to Cameron, Missouri 3 years ago. Go Niners. Okay, that's fine, but in reality, go Chiefs, right? It's for you, it's a win-win situation. If the 49ers lose, and if all this like symbolism actually means something, then really you're rooting for the Chiefs, okay? Michelle Lines, Chiefs. Roger Gilvin, hi from Colorado, pulling for Andy Reid. The haystack. I guess the game explains why all the junk food was on sale. Ha ha ha. The Stylist Corner. I don't ever watch the Super Bowl. It seems extremely worldly to me. And then it's on Sunday. Judson Mabby. Happy Sabbath, everyone, from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Delise Music from Canada. I don't watch football or pretty much any sport anymore. I used to watch hockey, though, because Canada. CO2MC number 26. I'm headed to an Elder Gong devotional at BYU, Idaho. Cool. Take notes. If he says anything interesting, let me know. Jordan Birch, Christian Homestead, live on a Sunday. What a treat. Yep, doesn't happen very often. The only other time that I do it is for conference. I do live streams on Sunday. I don't monetize them, but I think it's appropriate because like we need to talk about these things. Jordan Depinimus. Oh, I can stay away. I love you. I can't stay away. I love you too much, Jared. Well, I love you too. Just okay. Let's second chance. Okay. The Stylist Corner. I saw a video that pointed out a lot of symbolism about this particular Super Bowl. Interesting. I'm sure a lot of other people are talking about it. Samuel Martindale. I got the flu, not watching the Super Bowl. I watch you in church stuff. Cynthia Christopherson. Wish I was with family for Super Bowl party, but homesick. Halftime show is not my thing, but love both teams. Yeah, every Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely awful. All of them are, and it's been like that for a long time. I saw a YouTube video one time that had like, like a Super Bowl halftime show from like the 60s, and it was just like a marching band, and it was like what you would expect like for like a college team or something like that. I wonder when it started to get like really bad like it is now. CO2 MC number 26. I'm mostly not watching it because I didn't want to see Taylor Swift. There's all this like Taylor Swift stuff. She's dating one of the guys that plays for the Chiefs. I haven't really been following it, but it's been like an uproar. Interesting though, her last name is Swift. Hopefully the second coming comes swiftly soon. When it does happen, it'll be swift. Sean Briggins from a Kansas City member here. Go Chiefs. All right, Kansas City. I love Kansas City, by the way. It's a very pretty city. Jordan Birch. I'm curious if you've seen the trailer for a movie from Angel Studios called Homestead. It's an end of the world kind of movie. Looks good. Yeah, I have seen the trailer for that. I don't think I'm going to have time to watch it, but it is intriguing. Plaid. Wonder if the church will do a Super Bowl commercial takeover like they did New York Times Square for Christmas. Smiley face cowboy hat. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. I remember there was like some kind of like some Christian church did like an ad last year, I want to say. Jordan Tepenimus, we just left San Francisco on Thursday. Oh, so you were just there. El Paculi, star. Hey, Jared, Chiefs will win. I really think they will. I do. That's what I thought last year, and they won. And I was looking at it from this like symbolic standpoint. It's no guarantee that they're going to win today, but if they do, it's gonna that just makes me excited for the symbolic reasons. Judson Mabby or maybe watched The Chosen season 4 episodes 1 through 3 in theaters with a bunch of Ward friends. Had a great time. Cool. I've only seen parts of Chosen. I haven't like watched all the way through. Plaid never watched the Super Bowl, but I sometimes will look up the Super Bowl commercials the week after. A lot of creativity. Yeah, even though, okay, look, this is just my own thing, and I'm not like saying that this is doctrine or anything like that. I think it's okay to watch the Super Bowl. I know it's on Sunday. Remember, the head coach is a member of the church. We had Steve Young that played for the 49ers, and at the time he was a big deal. So I don't know. I guess it's like a personal thing. You follow the spirit, but if you don't normally watch it, you might want to watch this one for the reasons that I'm talking about. It's a guarantee that the halftime show is going to be pure evil and probably disturbing. But if you don't want to watch it, I'll watch it for you. But I don't know. El Paculi, news today: Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is back in the hospital at Walter Reed. Oh yeah, I remember him being hospitalized before. That's weird. I wonder what's going on. Jane Still, love what you are saying. Mindy's here. Temples of Jesus. Make sure to subscribe to her channel. She says crazy. The Stylist Corner here. Krisnick, hi. Yeah, this is when I was asking, could you guys hear me? Plaid. Sunday will come. Okay. Sunday will come, by Elder Joseph B. Worthland, October 2006. I'll have to check that out some other time, unless there's something like really like big that he said in there. Bev Field, high with a pink hand with two things coming between these two fingers. Terry Taylor, still with you. Ruth Ta'utua'a, driving. Crochet Mama, it's crazy. I haven't watched the Super Bowl in years, but you're making me want to watch it tonight. You should. You know, there's really, I think, a lot more going on with that game than just a game. Again, you have to look at it from the point of view that you have so many people watching it. I think that the bigger an event is, whether it's sports or whether it's a natural disaster or whether it's some kind of like uh, historical event, I think those are prime times for the Lord to send messages. I don't think it's coincidence that for the first, well, okay, in 2020, for the first time in 50 years, the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl again. I don't think that that's coincidence, and that things have played out the way that they have, like the wins and the losses and the locations. Like those first two Super Bowls of the that the Chiefs went to, 2020 and 2021. Those were both played in Florida, so the southeast part of the United States. And now these last two, the one last year and then the one today, are on the opposite side, the southwest. Last year it was in Arizona, in Phoenix, technically in Glendale. It's a suburb of Phoenix. And then the one today in Las Vegas. It's weird. It's like it's from coast to coast. It's underlining the United States. I don't know. It's just weird. Um, Mary Miller, creepy halftime show that the Weeknd performed. Yeah, it was maybe one of the creepiest. It was bad. It was really bad. It felt like somebody that was representing the devil was the star of that halftime show. That's what it felt like. It was awful. It was terrible. Janet Manning, it's plainly mocking Jesus coming back. Yeah, that's how I feel. Why else would you have that weird introduction like that? All of them wearing white robes and then having red eyes. I think I did a video about that a long time ago because when you read the scriptures, when they talk about seeing Christ, a lot of times, like when they'll describe his voice, it's like the rushing of 1,000 waters or however they describe it. And then his eyes were like a flame of fire. I don't know if like that was supposed to be some kind of like mockery of that. Let me pull it up. Is this supposed to mock the second coming and all the resurrected saints that come with Christ that have, flaming eyes of fire, which I don't think they're literally going to have like glowing eyes, but well, Joseph Fielding Smith said that celestial resurrected bodies, they have like a glowing appearance, but I don't think that I don't think that their eyes are going to glow like this. But here, and then again, let me just show you that part at the very beginning where it like zooms in on the Weeknd and he's in this like sports car, and you have like all these like worldly things behind him, and he's inside what looks like the Las Vegas welcome to Las Vegas sign. That's what this looks like. In fact, there's even one of those like well, I don't want to like explicitly describe it, but like a casino showgirl kind of thing up here. And then you have like the Las Vegas sign. And so this was the Super Bowl. This was the one that was for the 2020 season, but played in February 2020. Okay. It was for the 2020 season, and it was the Super Bowl that was played February 2021. Okay. So after Satan made all of his moves in 2020, this was the Super Bowl. It felt like he celebrated with this, and you have everything worldly in this one shot. This is how the show starts. Remember the welcome to Las Vegas sign. Hopefully you're all familiar with this. It's famous. You know, it's this right here. Welcome to Las Vegas. Have you been there before? Put in the chat, or if you're watching this after the fact, put in the chat if you've been here before. If you ever go to Las Vegas, go check this out because so like you have Las Vegas Boulevard, you have one lane on this side and another lane on this side. But as you're coming this way, there's like a parking area. So you like park here in the middle, then you can walk up here to the welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. It's on the south side of the strip. I'm telling you, again, there's a lot of bad things in Vegas. There's a lot. But I also love Vegas because I love the people that live there. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law. I have some friends from the singles ward that lives there. I have some of you that live there. And I can't describe it. I really love that city. I don't love the bad part of that city, but I have a lot of like nostalgia for Las Vegas. You know, it's just, I don't know. But anyway, so going back to this, like, it's like he's in the Las Vegas sign, and now here we are. And again, it's a Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and this time they are playing in Las Vegas. It's very weird. Yeah, and then he comes out like this. It's just very like evil looking, you know. You have the creepy the creepy things in the white robes and glowing red eyes, and then this part separates, and then a devilish figure walks out wearing red and black, and you know, looking like that. They put him in a red light right there, so he's like all red. And then you go inside that like city set, and it's all gold inside. It's like the material world, wealth, you know, gold. Although this part was kind of cool. I kind of like this part. I kind of like this part a little bit, minus the guys with the white masks. And I like this song that he plays. The I can't feel my face when I'm with you. It's okay to see good in things, but like, you know, it's not like I would be friends with him unless he was like turned good. I would share the gospel with him. Okay, so anyway, let's just get back to it. Let's get back to this. Okay. David Ramos, I was already red colored with Rihanna too. Oh, it was already red colored with Rihanna too. Oh yeah, she did one too, huh? I remember that. Ursula Byington, I'm here from Burley, Idaho. Heart with a yellow bow like it's a present. Ready to go to our interfaith community Easter choir practice. Oh, cool. Have fun. I hope you guys do good. Miss Chef Yoda, hey there. Chris Nick, you're awesome to catch things, Jared. Thank you. I'm telling you, like, I really think that when you develop personal revelation in your life, if you like take those like leaps of faith, like when you receive signs, and after you do that time and time and time again, you start to see the way that the Lord will talk to you in a way that you can recognize that maybe other people won't. That's why you have to be careful sharing your spiritual experiences, because it may seem silly to other people and they may mock it or try and explain it away. And it's not for them, it's for you, you know? So I feel like it's easy to like see some of these things, and I'm not saying that I'm right about the Super Bowl, but you can't deny that it's really weird how all these things have played out. These like 4 Super Bowls and the way that it's happened, and just all these things. It's so interesting. Laura Mills, West Carrollton, Ohio. Plaid, there's a new tool in my church website account to refer friends, and keeps a record of those you refer. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Ruth Ta'utua'a. She said that's how it's pronounced. It's like a Polynesian name. You're supposed to pronounce it like that. Usher. That is a unique name. He isn't confused with anyone else. Yeah. Have any of you guys met anybody named Usher. I've never heard anybody having that as a first name other than this guy. And I didn't even know that until just now when I looked it up. Plaid, my BIL brother-in-law. My brother-in-law married someone with surname Usher. Truth to Power, hi from the UK, and then tried to do a UK flag. It's okay. I can see it in my mind. I'll pretend like there is a UK flag showing up there. Chris Nick, he's very inspired. Ha ha ha. Laura Mills, mom was born in Kansas City. She always rooted for Chiefs. So will I. Woo! Like one of those foam red hands, like with number one. Phil and Malia waits. Elder Holland says, this is a victory already registered. Yep. That's right. The game is already, there is no game. The game is like for yourself and what you're going to choose to do. If you want to win or if you want to lose. The haystack, my guess is Chiefs will win too. Sarah Scott, hello from in Ohio. Got a lot of Ohio people here today. Are you Ohio people? Are you going to go see the eclipse? Is it going to go over where you live? Cheryl L, rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs to win. Trophy Cup, the Super Bowl. Love Andy Reid. The haystack, the English king has cancer. Yeah, I saw somebody had sent me an email about that. I that's on my radar. I might look into it. Sleeping with cats. I never understood the expression pure evil. How can any amount of evil be pure? Maybe entirely evil or completely evil or over the top evil. Just being picky. Love you all. Sparkly pink heart. Look at this. I got deviled eggs. Jenica's making stuff right now for the Super Bowl. Dolly, our families all wearing Chief t-shirts. And the countdown for kickoff has begun. My hubby served his mission in Las Vegas. Woo! Football. You know what? I want to show you something. Let me find it first and then I'll put it on the screen. Here it is. Okay, let me put it up on the screen. So, this is like one of those things, okay? This is one of the reasons why I believe things like this. Before I show you this picture, it was never, ever in my plans to move to Kansas. What I had planned for myself and what I started to do is I went on my mission and then I was going to come back, got married because I wanted to be married as soon as possible because I love marriage. I love my wife. And I was going to go to school full time, and I was, and I was going to become an accountant. I was probably going to get like a master's degree or something like that. I don't know how far I would have went. I guess I would have played that by ear, but I wanted to become an accountant and then stay in Utah and live somewhere like the Daybreak community, you know, or maybe Eagle Mountain or someplace like that. That's what I was going to do. But I listened to promptings of the Spirit, which led me to start my family right then and there. And then to not drop out of school, I just changed my program to aircraft dispatch, which was, you know, a complete departure from what I was doing, something completely different. And it led me on this very unlikely path that led me to this point right now. It was a lot of stuff, a lot of signs and promptings and whatever. So why am I saying this? Okay, no, just to stress the point that I never planned to move here to Kansas. I was supposed to be in Utah, you know, as an accountant, and probably really busy at this time of the year because it's accounting season or it's tax season. But when I was younger, you know, I started to get into football. But yeah, I started getting into football because my uncles, they're not too much older than me. They played high school football and that got me all excited. So first I did flag football, and that's when I started getting into the NFL. the team that I played on was the Bengals, so they were like my first favorite team. But then I kind of explored who I liked. Kind of went along with my dad with like the Packers and stuff. But then I went into little league football and tackle football, and I don't know, I can't remember why this happened, but I had a Sega Genesis, and I think it was like Madden 95 or something like that for a Sega Genesis, and on the cartridge. Here, let me just show you. Let me look it up. Madden 95. Maybe. Oh, no. No, here it is. Yeah, I was right. Let me put it on the screen. You see this right here? I had this game for Sega Genesis, and it has the Kansas City Chiefs. And there was something about there was something about that cartridge. I don't know, that just like really stood out to me. And I started to like the Chiefs. Sorry, the Chiefs. I started to like the Chiefs. And they became a team of mine. And then here, let me go to shared desktop. And then I'll pull up this. Wait. Well, yeah, okay. You see that? That's me. That's me with my little brother taking a dorky family picture in the 90s. And I had a Kansas City Chiefs. Uh, that's how much I liked them. I had like some of their stuff. I had some hats. I had at least this shirt. I can't remember if I had other shirts, but it was almost like a foreshadowing of me moving to Kansas, something that I never ever plan on doing. And you might think that that's silly, but to me, it's not. It's not. It's almost like, that was part of the plan for my life. Probably in the premortal life was to take the path that I've taken. Okay, the stylist corner. I thought it was one of the 12 apostles. Okay, I thought it was one of the 12 apostles said it wasn't keeping the Sabbath day holy to watch sports on Sunday. To each his own. Doesn't bother me if people choose to. I wonder if anyone else remember that being said. I'm sure there's been things said like that. But yeah, to each his own. We all have our own like little, I guess what President Nelson would call our favorite sins, and for everybody that's different. Different ways of rebelling. Not that I don't know. For right now I'm still going to watch it. Maybe I'm not to the point where I'm ready for that higher holier not watching the Super Bowl. Cheryl L. Why are all the halftime shows in the color red? Seems weird. I don't know that they all are, but I think I know what you're talking about. I think a lot of times you have like fire imagery in red. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. El Paculi, more news today. Two injured at Joel Osteen's church. Female shooter killed. Ugh. That's too bad. Prayers for those that were affected by that. The Stylist Corner, been there. Oh, now we're talking about the Las Vegas sign. Jesse Daniels, no, I haven't been to Las Vegas. Sleeping with Cats, I've been to Las Vegas twice. Didn't vibe well with me at all. Or didn't, I inserted that last part. Didn't vibe well with me. Crochet Mama, I lived in Las Vegas for a while. There are a lot of good people that live there. Yeah, you guys, they have a pretty thriving um, community of Latter Day Saints, and they're getting this second temple. They've had the Las Vegas temple for a long time, but now they're getting a new temple for that area. David Ramos, I went to Las Vegas in 2004 to visit. Christine Buck, I lived in Vegas for 4 years and really disliked it, and so did my kids. Great people there, but I just didn't like it and didn't feel at home there. I wonder if that would have changed if you had lived like in a different place, or was it just the entire area you didn't like? I like the surrounding area. I like going to Red Rock Canyon. I like the drive in and out of Vegas. There's so much that I like there. There's a lot that I don't like too. There's probably only a few places that I would actually choose to live there. Some places are nice, other places are. Plaid, I have family that lives in Las Vegas. Las Vegas has a temple too. Only reason I go to Las Vegas is because I want to visit family. Janet Manning, I'm excited about my book. Okay. I'm excited about my book is done. It is called Why Us. It will be out March 9th on Amazon, Book Noble, and Instagram. Cool. Glenda Wheeler, I've never been a sports fan, especially on Sunday. Everyone can choose for themselves, not judging. Halftime show. Halftime shows are very evil to me. And then devil emoji with oh yeah, just devil emoji with yellow horns. You know, I guess for the Chiefs, red face, yellow horns. Narita Sanders, you've just reminded me of Jonathan Kahn, his first book, Harbinger, and he is so spot on with the crazy parallels. You have a lot in common. I hope you read his books. Probably not going to happen. I don't have very much time for books. Okay, got about 10 minutes, and then we're going to take off here. I just all my time goes to like X and your guys' emails and reading comments and scouring the news, scouring the scriptures, scouring conference talk. It's just like if you could see my life, it's kind of surreal. Sometimes I'm like, is this a dream? Is this like real life? What I'm doing right now? This is what I'm doing with my life right now. It's good. Sleeping with cats. You are right about the Super Bowl. CO2 MC number 26. I will let you know if Elder Gong says anything about the second coming. And then El Paculi says, please do. CO2 MC. Janet Manning, my youngest son was born in Junction City, Kansas. I love Kansas. I love Kansas too. I really like it here. I've played around with the idea of moving to the Kansas City area. I don't think that I will, but whenever I go there, I feel really good. I have a good feeling, and it's pretty. It's like a city that's very. There's like a lot of hills and a lot of trees, and so a lot of times, like when you're driving around, it's not all the time obvious that you're in a big city because like there's just trees all over the place. I've never been to a city like that, but it's really nice. And they've got some good barbecue up there. Laura Mills, I'm totally ready for the eclipse with my eclipse glasses. I'm just on the edge of the path of totality. What? Sarah Scott, yes, we are. Oh, they're starting to run out on the field, you guys. I'm probably going to take off in just a minute. I wonder, I wonder how this is going to go. It's going to be interesting. Um, Laura Mills. Okay, wait, sorry. Let me try and okay. Um, Narita Sanders, my first cousin's son Brian Ahern played for the Kansas City Royals. Oh, cool. Laura Mills, by the way, if you're having trouble streaming Super Bowl on Paramount Plus, turn off your device and turn it back on. I couldn't get it to even start. Then I turned the TV off and on, and it came right up. Plaid, do a lot of family history. Do a lot of family history connecting records of extended family in Family Search. You'll find lots of crazy connections that don't make sense, but show divine plan, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah. Kara Hatch, hearing your story about choosing marriage first is so cool. Marriage is becoming a lost art, so to speak. Probably a good thing. So many are cheering on Swift and is it Kelch? Is that how you pronounce his name? Or Kelsey? Is it Kelsey? Narita Sanders. Narita Sanders. There are no coincidences. Laura Mills. If you don't like Las Vegas, try Carson City or Reno in northern Nevada, right next to Tahoe. Beautiful. That's where I lived before Ohio. Nevada is expensive and lots of California is moving over. Yep. And that's exactly why I live in Kansas, because pretty much anywhere west of Kansas is really expensive. Chiefs are running out. Mary Miller, the national anthem was not sung. Well, I don't think they're singing it yet. I know it's going to be sung by Reba McEntire, is what I read when I was looking up the halftime show. It's like it was saying that it was going to be Usher for the halftime show and then Reba McEntire for the national anthem. Okay, I'm pretty much caught up with the chat. So, all right, you guys, let's see what happens. You know, if you don't watch the halftime show, I'll talk about it. I don't know if I'll have a video out about it tomorrow. It may be Tuesday or something like that. But whatever happens with this, I'll do like some kind of follow up video. And Wade Kopskos, what sign do we want to give God on the Sabbath? Super Bowl, or is there just some other way? Just saying. It's been one of my peeves I witnessed for justification in LDS. I mean, whatever, man. Like, whatever. You know, is it really anybody's job to go around and harass people about if they are or aren't keeping what you think the commandments are? Just saying. Cheryl L. On my TV, the announcers are calling it the Chiefs Kingdom. Interesting. Janet Manning, love Reba. Laura Mills, thanks, Jared. Enjoy the game. You guys too. It's going to be exciting. We'll see how it goes, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. And you guys have a good rest of your